What's up, guys? It's your girl Rossie, and I'm back with another awesome, horrific review called Afflicted. Let's get into it. Hi, guys, it's Rossie, and I'm here to review this awesome movie called Afflicted. This movie came out in 2013. It got a 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. I happened to just be watching Hulu one night, and sometimes I like to just watch Hulu, get some popcorn, and look for some films. Sometimes horror films, sometimes comedies, whatever. But this particular night, a few months ago, I was on Hulu. I couldn't go to sleep, and I saw this film called Afflicted. So I decided to watch it. Wow, what a good pick, guys. This movie is about, well, let me give you the synopsis of it, okay? So we have best friends, Derek and Clif, that plan to travel the globe and live life to the fullest. But only days into the trip, one of them shows signs of a mysterious illness. They rush to find the source before he is consumed, okay? So that's the story. So we start the story out where they're having this huge party because Cliff and Derek are getting ready to travel the world, and they have all their college friends over. This is something that everyone's known that they've been wanting to do for their final senior college project, graduation, whatever. So anyways, they have this awesome party, friends and all that. One thing that we find out about Derek's parents, family actually, there's a conversation that they have with him, his brother actually has with him, and we find out that Derek has a type of brain injury. Just a second, guys. Let me fix my camera. Just a second. Give me a minute. You know how technical issues here. Let's see. Just a second. Camera. Okay. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that, guys. It happens. Anyways, when you go live. Anyway, so we find out that Derek has a brain injury. It's called AVM, and basically it's a cluster of his blood vessels, and they're kind of tangled. And if they rupture, he could die or he could be severely crippled. So, and this could happen at any time. So we find out that this is happening. Derek's attitude is basically like, this could be my final day here on Earth. I want to do this trip. So he goes on this trip against his family wishes because they're really concerned about him. Like, what if something happens while he's overseas? And, you know, they can't get to him. So it's obviously a pretty serious concern. Anyways, he's going, Cliff is going, and they head off. The first stop they make is, I have my notes here. You guys know I love notes. The first stop that we make is to Barcelona. So what they're planning on doing is they're going to Barcelona. They're going to stay for a couple of days, meet up with some friends who happen to be in the band and touring overseas. And then the final 2 days they're going to spend with their friends in Paris. So they get to Barcelona. And what's really awesome about this film that I like is the fact that they shoot in Barcelona. Everything's shot on scene, you know, over in Barcelona, Spain, and then Paris. So it's really cool. I really like that. Another thing I like about the film is when you get over to Barcelona, there's a scene where they have all their camera footage placed on the bed. So they come equipped. They have cameras that you can wear, just all types of cameras, guys, thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment, because they're going to make this a video journal, everything that they do. Okay, so they have awesome camera footage, and you'll appreciate that later on in the film. I just wanted to point that out. I really like that, the way it's shot. Sometimes it's shot in first person, okay? And basically, I love movies like, you know, your oh, I forget the name. Anyways, like your Paranormal Activity, you know, the films that, you know, as if someone's videotaping you. So I love films like that, and I love that this film has that view, first person, third person view. Anyways, they're in Barcelona. They meet up with their two good friends who are in a band and are touring overseas. They have a great time. They go buggy riding, all that. Then they decide to go to Paris, and this is where some things gets interesting. They go to Paris. They're hanging out with their friends. Their friends are going to perform at a little pub, so they go to watch their friend's performance. While they're there, Cliff decides to be Derek's wingman and try to hook Derek up. Derek is like, his character is really quiet, kind of shy, really sweet guy. Cliff is very outgoing, energetic, just, the wingman. So they end up, as they're trying to fix Derek up, they can't find Derek. He's in a bar, and he ends up meeting this lady, and this young lady. And so, they realize that he seems to be doing pretty good, okay? So he's talking to this lady. Her name is Audrey. We see her later on in the film. She's a big part of this film. Her name's Audrey. There's a scene where, Derek's actually hooking up with her in a club, and they're all surprised because Derek doesn't do this. Derek usually starts off his conversations with women with his thesis or different things that he's doing, kind of boring stuff, okay? But he was getting it on, and he didn't need a wingman for that. So he meets Audrey. They leave, go back to the hotel that they all stayed in. And later on, the guys are like, let's go and basically, for lack of a better word, cock block, Derek while he's in the room doing whatever he's doing with Audrey, okay? So they get together. They're going to go and ruin this thing, with, bust in on hopefully finding Derek and Audrey, making out, whatever. So they, hatch this scheme. They go up to the room. They bust in a room. And when they bust in, no Audrey. But dude, Derek's on the bed, and he looks like he's been attacked, actually, beaten up. There's gouges taken out of his arm. I mean, it looks like bites taken out of him. He's out of it. So they're trying to wake him up to find out what the hell happened, because he's passed out on a bed, knocked out. He comes to a little bit, and they're like, what happened? Where's Audrey? And he's like, all I remember is we get to the hotel, I open a door, we come in a room, and she hits me with something. And now you guys are here, and I'm waking up. So this is really odd. Like, what's going on? Why would she attack him? Nothing was taken, it doesn't look like. So this is odd. They want to get Derek to the hospital. Derek's thing is this: I don't want to go to the hospital. I got that brain thing going on. I don't want to be stuck in a hospital, overseas and can't get out, and just the complications of that. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do this. So they bandaged him up. They say goodbye to their friends. And from Paris, Derek and Clif, they end up getting on a train, and our next stop is to Italy. All right, so they get to Italy. They beautiful where they shot at. It was you guys seen the pictures where it's like the nice cliff top houses over the ocean. The restaurants are right on the side of a cliff, next to the ocean. Just really beautiful. The scenery was great there. They get there, and the weird thing about it is that Derek is, he sleeps the whole way. He sleeps the whole way on the train. They get to their cottage, and he sleeps for about a day or so. Finally, that second day, Cliff comes in there and he wakes him up like, come on, get up. We're in Italy. This is our trip. You're not going to sleep this away. Like, let's go do something. So, Derek reluctantly decides to get up. He's going to go, he's doing this for Cliff. They go to this beautiful restaurant, on a cliffside, over the ocean, gorgeous. And they get there and they order some food, and they're sitting down, and Cliff's kind of talking to Derek, and Derek just seems kind of out of it at this point. All of a sudden, guys, this scene out of nowhere, you see Derek kind of getting sick. And he throws up everything that's in him. It looks like rice, but it's I think it's maggots, and it's just loads, like bowls and bowls all over the freaking restaurant. People are freaking out. He's freaking out. He doesn't know what's going on, okay? So he can't hold his food down. He can't eat. So, Cliff gets him home. lets them know, Derek, something's not right. You haven't been feeling well since we left Paris. We got to figure out what's going on. He doesn't want to do that. So they decide to go on with their trip. Anyways, there's this vineyard that Clif takes Derek out to go look at. And guys, while we're in Italy, a lot of symptoms start to happen to Derek. He starts going through these changes. We don't know what it is, okay? Anyways, they go on this tour of this vineyard on a hillside, and the guy that owns the vineyard, he's giving them the tour, talking to them, letting them know, this is that, whatever. Anyways, all of a sudden, the camera turns to Derek, and he's burning. His hands start to burn. His skin starts to just peel. He's in a lot of pain. They're freaking out. Derek takes off running. He's looking for water or something, because he's literally, you see his skin peeling. He's burning. All right. And he gets in the water. He puts water on him, and he's in a dark shed, and he's looking up at Clif like, what the fuck is going on with me? What is happening to me? Dude, crazy. They get back home to their little cottage, and Clif's freaking out. He's actually on a call. I think he's like video chatting, to their audience or to the family. Anyways, he's letting them know, I need your guys' help. He's not listening to me. Something's not right with him. He's ill. He doesn't want to go to the hospital. Derek ends up walking in on that, and Clif's like, listen, man, I'm sorry about that, but I care about you. This trip is not more important than your health. Something's not right with you. And as you look at this scene, there's this the little room that they're in. The walls built out of concrete, like rock. Okay. Derek gets frustrated, and all of a sudden he hits the freaking wall. The wall smashes, rock wall, solid. Freaking fist goes right through it. Grabs his hand. He's just kind of like, Clif is looking at him like, what the fuck is going on with you? They don't know what's going on. They don't know. They're both freaked out. Even Derek is freaked out because he doesn't know what's going on. So Clif is pretty interested in this, and they decide to go out and they want to do some tests to see how strong are you. So they go to this little pier, and there are these huge boulders, and Clif is videotaping and telling Derek, okay, you ready? All right, do it. Freaking Derek takes his fist, pounds into the freaking boulder. It cracks, dude. It cracks in half. He's got superhuman strength. Okay, so at this point, is he a superhero? What the hell is going on with him? Anyways, they end up doing more tests. He can run fast. He can run faster than, I think it was a little motorcycle going past 60 miles an hour. I mean, he's getting it. So he's got superhuman strength. He can run really fast. I'm thinking, like, oh my God, what type of superhero he's going to be like this? I've never heard of this guy, right? Anyways, they do more tests, and Derek is kind of, he's scared, but at the same time, like, he's got this power. Like, he can run fast, he can jump. And I mean, when I say jump, I mean like he's got that Moon Knight jump, he's got that Moon Knight push. If he pushes you, you're flying back. Okay, so this is what's going on with Derek. Anyways, they find it interesting. They find it pretty cool. They're videotaping it, and all of a sudden, they're walking home from videotaping all of this stuff, all the things that Derek can do. And Derek starts, hunches over, and there's something wrong with his eyes, dude. Like, something's wrong with his eyes. So he grabs in, and he starts pulling out his freaking, I think it's his contact out of his eye. You see the freaking, just this snot looking shit coming out of his eye, and he's pulling it out, and he looks up, and you see his lid go down, and it's like a little dot. Freaked me the frick out. Like, what is going on? So his eyes are starting to change. decide to go to a hospital. Let's go and check this out. Derek decides to go. On their way there, there's this car that almost hits them because they're in the way. They're in the street. These French guys or Italian guys get out of the car and they're, going off on them. What are you doing in the street? Whatever. As you're seeing the French guy holding Clif, what are you doing? In the background, you see the other guy that was driving, in the car. He's standing behind Clif, and then you see Derek, and all of a sudden, you see the dude go flying. Again, that Moon Knight push. That's what Derek has. This dude goes flying, hits his car. He's out. He's freaking out. They freak out. They run back to their little villa. And, Clif is like, Derek, what did you just do back there? What the hell just happened back there? There's blood everywhere. They don't know until they start doing some online research, and it hits them that, is he turning into a vampire? Like, is that what's going on? But it's so funny in this one scene because Clif is looking up, about vampires, and it's all that, the old school vampire stuff. And Clif's like, well, it says here you should turn into mist, that you could turn into a bat. It's like all this stuff because they're looking on the internet to find out, like what's wrong with Derek. And we know at this point he does have vampire-like issues going on, okay? Anyways, Derek starts to change more, like I said, his eyes, it's just, there's just a pupil there, all white. His skin looks dehydrated, and you can see the veins underneath his skin. And one night, Derek wakes up and he can't find frickin' Clif. He goes in a room, Clif wakes up and goes in a room. He can't find Derek, but he's hearing this weird noise. Weirdest shit, guys. All of a sudden, he looks over, and Derek is there staring at him like this. And this scene is so freaky because you're not expecting it, and you see Derek in the form of the vampire, whatever it is. You see the transformation. Freaks them out. So they realize, okay, you need blood to feed. So they're like, okay, because he has a seizure. He's having a seizure. He's sick. He's ill. So Clif goes out, gets some, I think, cow's blood, brings it back to Derek. It feeds it to Derek. Derek drinks it, and he gets sick. This is not going to work. They leave out another night, and another night they go, and they're looking for, Derek is looking for a dog, maybe a dog. And Clif is like, that's man's best friend. Like, you can't take him, So they approach this little store, and there's this dog in the store, and the owner had walked away, and Derek is looking, like, contemplating. He needs to feed. We know that, okay? So anyways, so what he does is he ends up deciding, I'm not going to take man's best friend. I need something else. They go back up to that farm where the guy that showed them the freaking the guy that showed them gave them the tour of the winery. Remember, there's a little bitty a shed there that's really dark, and there's a pig there. So they go. Freaking Derek goes, gets the pig, and this is a brutal scene. You see him take the pig, and he just starts feeding on this pig, and you just hear him drinking this pig's blood, and it's nasty, it's disgusting. Derek, Clif is really disgusted about this, and at this scene, he goes back to the villa. They go back, and I mean, it's just tripping. I mean, yeah, he sees his best friend feeding on a pig. Like, this shit is real. Besides all the other shit, this shit is real. Anyways, the story progresses. As it progresses, we're still in Italy, and things are just getting worse. I mean, he can't go outside during the daytime. He puts newspaper all on his window so sunlight can't get in, because remember, his skin burns. And then we hit the fateful, let's see, it was day, goodness, this is really sad. We hit night 20, and on night 20, Clif wakes up. He goes to find Derek. Derek's not in his room. The window's open. Oh my God, where is he at, right? Because he knows his friend's a vampire he needs to feed. So stupid him goes out to find Derek. And just to bring something up, guys, before this scene happens, when Derek was going through that transformation and knew he needed the feed, he tells Clif, "You need to stay away from me." So when Clif wakes up and see that Derek is gone, stupid idea because he told you to stay away from him. Anyway, Clif goes, finds him in that shed again, and he hears the noise and he kind of sees, Derek up, I don't know, in the shed on top of something. And all of a sudden you hear this horrible noise. And Clif looks up and is like, "Derek?" And dude, Derek takes off, attacks his best friend. This scene is so freaking brutal. Hey, if you guys don't like blood, gore, this is not the film for you because it shows it all. And I really appreciate that, okay? It wasn't overly done, but it was to be expected. I mean, you feed on someone that it's going to be bloody, all right? So, saddest scene, dude. He ends up killing his best friend, feeds on him, and it's just, it's absolutely brutal. He then realizes what he did, and he's crying because as he feeds, he becomes normal. If he doesn't feed, he ends up he transforms into the vampire where he's really sick. The skin, the dehydration look, all that happens. So when he gets a good feed, he becomes himself. He's normal again, skin's clear, everything. Anyways, he realizes what he did after he feeds on his best friend, and he's sitting in a chair. There's a shotgun in the shed. He sits there, and he blows his head off. This scene is so gory because he blows his head off. His head just kind of slumps over like that. You see the brain just out, yeah. So you're thinking at that point, all right, the movie's over with. This is it. That's what I thought. Like, wow, we ended like this. Dude, then it was the next night, night 21, he's alive. He's well. He looks well. He's back at the villa. They show that he did bury his best friend. He's very remorseful about that. He's talking to the camera because he decides that he's going to continue to videotape. He's going to make this a diary so everyone can see what he's going through. Okay. There was a point earlier in the film where Derek and Clif decided to rob hijack an ambulance because of the fact of, there's possibly blood in there. That went left. Interpol gets involved. That comes up a little bit later, okay? So they are in trouble about breaking into the hospital, get human blood, all that happened, okay? I'm just skipping around. Anyways, so he wakes up. He's at the villa. He doesn't understand why he's alive. He doesn't know why he can't die. He knows he's some type of vampire, but he doesn't know the details of what can and cannot happen to him, okay? So he realizes that Audrey holds the key. That's the last time. That's when something happened to him. It was when he last was with Audrey. Remember, he woke up in a room and he had gouges out of his arm and he was really messed up. So he knows, I need to get to Paris because I need to go and find Audrey. She has the answers to all of this. Unfortunately, he's still in Italy and he can't go out during the daytime. He tests the theory, puts his hand outside. It's sunny. Freaking hand burns up. He can't do that. As he's getting ready to leave, though, or figure out what he's going to do, there's a knock on the door. It's Interpol. We're here to get you and your friend. We got you guys on camera at the hospital, all this stuff. Again, Derek, strong as he is, he ends up pushing one of the Interpol guys. You see the guy fly across the inside the living room, and the chase is on. This chase in the film is really awesome. He has to leave out. It's freaking like noon outside. It's sunny. And he has to go. So he goes outside and you see his hands just peeling. He's screaming. He's running. They're shooting at him. There's a lot of cool parkour stuff that's going on at this scene. Just a run around town trying to escape Interpol. He gets to this underground, it's like this tunnel, dark tunnel, and he hides there. Kind of has to get into dark places to kind of heal a little bit. Then he'll take off from there. He gets shot a couple of times. Next thing you know, the next scene we're at, he's in Nice. Okay, he escaped. He made it to Nice. Then from Nice, we're back in Paris. He ends up finding this abandoned warehouse. He decides that's where he's going to stay at, and until he can figure out, you know, how he can get in touch with Audrey. He goes through the footage, and thank God for him, Clif videotaped everything. And on one of the camera footages, he sees that they videotaped Audrey and she had a cell phone in her hand at the hotel. So he has to get back to that hotel that he originally was when they went to Paris to go and check out, you know, to check and see if the phone was given to the staff at the hotel, you know, lost and found. That's what I was trying to say, lost and found. So he makes it there. He goes to lost and found. We got the freaking phone. So we got the phone. He goes back to his little warehouse abandoned that he found. Abandoned warehouse that he found. There's water there. So this is a place he's got water. He can, you know, no one's going to be there. It's this industrial area in Paris. So he goes there and he starts to just text to reach Audrey. And finally, as he's going through another sickness, because the last time he fed, guys, was like night 2020 when he killed his best friend. So he hasn't fed it's been a while since he's fed. So he goes through that transformation where he seizures out. He's the dehydration, the eyes, just, he becomes a vampire. Okay. And it's horrible noise that he makes when he finishes up that transformation. It's just this howling type of noise. Anyways, someone reaches back to him. We then meet a character called Maurice. Maurice is the one that reaches back to him. Why he, you know, his connection with Audrey, we'll find out. Anyways, they decide to meet up somewhere. Derek is smart. He gets there first and regardless, he gets there first. And he's peeping out and he sees this guy. Derek is hidden because, remember, he can climb, jump, whatever. So he's on top of this building. He sees this guy show up, Maurice, black jacket. And Maurice gets there. He's yelling, you know, in his language, you know, whatever he's saying. Basically probably saying, where are you? You called me. Here I am. Come out, whatever. So he leaves. Derek follows him back to this other place where Maurice is staying. In this other really weird warehouse where maybe teenagers hang out at. Anywhere to spray paint, all that. And Derek follows him to this upstairs in this warehouse where there's a room, there's pictures, there's a bed, and all of a sudden he gets hit on the head with something. Derek is pretty strong. The next scene we see is Derek has the cameras on. Maurice is sitting in a chair tied up, and you realize there that, you know, Maurice is telling Derek, you need to go. You need to freaking go. We got to get out of here. Anyways, Derek is talking to the camera saying, we're going to figure this out. This is, you know, whatever, Maurice. And he lifts up Maurice's shirt. Maurice has bites, gouges all on him. So he was a victim of Audrey as well. All right. So there's the connection. Anyways, Interpol gets there, and this is another awesome freaking scene because a lot of it's shot in first person because the camera is on Derek right about here. So he gets there, and he gets there. Interpol gets there. Dude, you have AKs going off. They're firing at Derek. It's a crazy scene. Maurice is knocked over in a chair, fell backwards, and he's just laying there panicked, scared. Because he doesn't want to get shot, and Derek ends up getting shot. He lays there. They don't know, like Maurice knows, and trying to tell them he's not dead. Basically, he's not dead. You guys, all of a sudden, Derek gets up because he can't die. Gets up, kills every one of them. Ends up leaving. Feeds off of all of them, so he becomes himself again. He ends up going back to the place he's staying. He gets a call from Audrey or a text from Audrey. They end up meeting up to find out Audrey is a freaking badass. She's stronger than Derek, like superhuman power here, okay? Anyways, they get there, they talk. She's telling him, you know, he's asking her, why did you do this to me? What did you do? And she said, I didn't mean to. I thought I was doing you a favor, basically. They get into this awesome blowout in this like cathedral abandoned warehouse thing. There's a wooden, you know, a piece of wood there that I think Derek carved up because he was going to, you know, jab Audrey with it. And Audrey gets it and he's like, just freaking kill me. Kill me, do it. Audrey takes the stake, puts it in Derek. I mean, brutal scene again. And Derek is laying there. All of a sudden you hear him gasp and he's screaming. He pulls the freaking, you know, the thing out of him. And the wooden stake out of him. And Audrey is letting him know, you need to feed. You know, so she tells him a little bit about what's going on. He only's been feeding once every 2 weeks. She tells him, you need to feed every 5 to 7 days or else you will turn into something worse than what you are right now. So this is not something Derek wants to hear. They end up parting ways. Audrey leaves and tells him, like, basically, I'm sorry, but, you know, lets him know what he needs to do. This is something he needs to accept. We see him making a video for his parents, his brother, letting them know, basically letting them see everything they need to see because Interpol has reached out. They're wanted internationally. So the family knows he can't go home again because he is a vampire. So what he decides to do, and Audrey gives him a tip. You can choose who you want to feed off of. You know, you could be a bad guy, you can be a good guy. So Derek decides to feed off of people that are doing others wrong, basically. You know, your child molesters, you know, your murderers, you know. He goes after them, and they show a scene where he catches this guy who had molested his daughter. It was on the guy's video, and you see him feed, and the credits start rolling. This film is freaking awesome. I enjoyed this film. I loved the writers who were actually and the cast, the stars of this movie was Derek. Let me see, just a quick. It was Derek Lee and Clif Prowse. The actors were also the writers of this film, and they starred in it, and they did a great job. The graphics were great. The transformation that they did on Derek was absolutely, they did a great job. I would definitely recommend this film, and I also want to give you, tell you a little bit about a bonus clip before I get out of here. Don't leave when the credits are rolling, okay? Stick around. Don't leave, because another scene pops up and things happen while the credits roll. So you got to see this film. You can watch it on Hulu. It's called Afflicted, 2013. Great film. I think you guys will love it. It's a great film. I wanted to review it because Halloween's coming up, and this is one that's just a Halloween horror thriller, all of that. Gore, and they did a good job. So thanks for joining me again. Next week, I think that I want us to review and start watching Let the Right One In. It's on Showtime. It's a series. I love the movies, and I think we should do that next week. All right. Please, if you want to hit me up, I'm on Instagram at McCree123hotmail.com. Everything's in the descriptions. Please join A-Town Alex Haynes, Charlie Widman, John DeGregorio on Movie Lovers Unite. Love you guys. Have a great week. And please hit the subscribe. Please like, comment, all that stuff. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can catch me at rossietalks@gmail.com and at movieloversunite@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. Let me get out of here.